Yesterday we completed with assigning the first three roles to the users.
Missed all of them.
Yesterday we assigned first three roles to the users, and we discussed about significance of ESS administrator role. So ESS administrator role is required to view and manage all ESS jobs. ESS jobs is nothing but programs. All ESS jobs submitted by the users. View and manage all ESS jobs submitted by the users. But we cannot assign this role to the user directly. That's why we need to customize this role. We need to customize this role and we have to add to the user. Okay. And user management, role management, user management and role management under security console, under tools and security console. So we are talking about this role, ESS administrator role, this one. Okay. So you're not able to assign this role to the user directly. We have to create a similar role. We'll do that. So before we create a custom role, we'll discuss about what role consists of and also the comparison between EBS to the Fusion. In case of EBS, for every project we have to create responsibilities, right? For every project we have to create responsibilities. The responsibilities are like order management user, order management super user, administrator, and then view responsibility. Okay. So IT team and then client users, nothing but business users. So this is the hierarchy of the users. So users and then super users and managers, or maybe you call it as a process owners. And from the IT team consultant, and then lead and manager. Okay. So we falls under here. We falls under IT team. Okay. According to our level of experience, we may be a consultant or lead or manager. In the similar way, we are implementing the product for the client, right? We are implementing the product for the client. Okay. So from the client side, hierarchy is like this: users, super users, and the process owners. So what is the difference between users, super users, and process owners? Users, they just perform the transactions. Users, they just perform transactions. What kind of transactions? Like creation of a sales order and a purchase order and receiving the stock. Okay. So they perform these kind of transactions in the application. They perform these kind of transactions in the application. Okay. And coming to super users, what they do. Okay. Along with transactions, they also create some setups. Not all the setups, because they don't have complete product knowledge like us. They don't have complete product knowledge like us, but they have minimum setups knowledge. They have minimum setups knowledge. That's why they also take care of setups. What process owners they do, they take the decisions. They take the decisions on the processes that need to be implemented. that need to be implemented. Okay, so maybe they take the decisions, they take the decision on the process that need to be implemented. So for users we're going to give a responsibility or a role to perform the transactions. And for super users, not only transactions, we give extra access to configure the setups. We give extra access to configure the setups. And in the similar way for managers also. In the similar way for managers also. Okay. So in case of EBS, we assign responsibility to the users based on their level. For super users, we assign super user responsibility. For users, we assign user responsibility. For managers, we assign administrator responsibility in case of EBS. So this is view responsibility. So this is nothing but you can have view access to the only view access, this responsibility. Okay. But in Fusion, the responsibility is equivalent to the role. Responsibility is equivalent to the role in Fusion. Okay. So in case of EBS, how a responsibility contains menus, functions, and you know menu, right? Menu is a group of functions, and function is a kind of a task to perform the transaction or either setup. What kind of function is that? It's just a view function or update function. Okay. So the menu is equivalent to the duty in Fusion, and then function is equivalent to the privilege in Fusion, and then this one is equivalent to the data security. Is equivalent to the data security. Okay. I'll give you some examples here for Fusion. In case of Fusion, the equivalent role to the super users or users is order entry specialist. Order entry specialist. Okay, so this is a equivalent role to the user. Okay, and order manager, it's for the super users, and order administrator, it's for the managers. And coming to the view roles are not provided by Fusion or Oracle. View roles are not provided by Fusion or Oracle. We need to create a custom role for view. View roles we need to create in Fusion. It's a custom role. Okay. So in case of Fusion, order entry specialist is a role which we assign to the users, and order manager is a role which is assigned to the super users, and then order administrator to the managers. Okay. And coming to the view role, it should be a custom role that we need to create. Okay. What a role consists of? A role consists of duties, privileges, and data security. Privileges and data security. Okay. Suppose uh, here, let us take buyer is a role. Let us take buyer is a role. Okay. In the buyer role, what is meant by duty? So duty is nothing but manage purchase order is a duty. Manage purchase order is a duty. But what is meant by privilege? The privilege is nothing but, so this is the duty. And what are the privileges are there? Privileges are nothing but create purchase order, edit purchase order, close purchase order, and cancel purchase orders. Close purchase orders, cancel purchase orders. These are privileges. So this is the duty. This is the duty, and these are the privileges. What privileges we have? We can create a PO, and then we can edit the PO, we can close the PO, we can cancel the PO. These are the privileges. What is meant by data security? The data security is nothing but whether we can create a purchase order for which entity, which entity, whether India entity or US entity or UK entity, for which entity of the company, we create this purchase order. That is nothing but the data security. And also, not only this, okay, here also, what kind of access we have. What kind of access is nothing but update access or view access or delete access. What kind of access that we have, whether just we can view the orders, and we can also update them, we can also delete them. Okay, so I'll open this role in the application and I'll explain you. So these are seeded roles, standard roles. Oracle is provided some standard rules. Okay, so we can directly use those standard rules, and we can also customize these standard rules. The customization is nothing but, in case if you don't want to provide cancel PO, privilege to the user, then you should not assign this role. You have to copy this role and create a new role, and just remove this cancel privilege in the new role and add that new role to the user. Okay, so let's see this roles in the application. So we are talking about a buyer role, right? Buyer role. Okay, aura underscore po underscore buyers. So this is the latest role, and what this role consists of, we'll see. Okay, click on this drop down and click on edit role. So in the sequence of steps, the first step is the details, a basic information, a role name, and then role code. See this code field, it takes upper characters, and also it won't allow the spaces. And this role falls under which category? It is from the procurement module. It is the job role. Okay, what is this job role? I'll explain you later. And it's a predefined role, right? It's a standard role, predefined role, and this is the description of the role. And in the next screen, we're going to see the privileges. So you won't see duties here. You directly see privileges here in the screen. Okay, I'll tell you a simple example. I'm looking for a simple example. Yeah, I found it. So do you see here, cancel purchase order? What is this? This cancel purchase order, it's a privilege. Change purchase order, it's a privilege. Okay, that means if any user has access to this buyer role, that user can perform all these actions, creating a purchase order, canceling the purchase order, changing the purchase order. The actions that we see here, that can be performed by the user. So you see here, create purchase order privilege. Okay, as I said, you won't see duties here. Duties are not going to be directly displayed in the role. Okay, it won't display directly here, but all these privileges are grouped into duties. Okay, And next, data security. Next, data security. So this data security is nothing but, as I said, on that particular object, what kind of access that you are having, whether you can update or view or delete, what kind of access. I'm trying to look for a good example here. This is a good example. Okay. So here we see on the purchase orders, okay, on purchase order table, what kind of access we have. So we have read access or update access or delete access. And coming to the item information, this role is providing only view access only, because this guy is a buyer. So buyer can view the items. That's it. Buyer can view the items. Okay. So that is about data access, the third point and third screen. And coming to this role hierarchy is nothing but, in case if you want to create a role from another role, you can add that role here. So what is a role here? Buyer role. Okay. So you want to add any other role to this buyer role, you can add it from here. Okay. I will practically explain you when we are creating the custom role about this. And the fifth one is managed by Oracle. The segregation of duties, it is managed by Oracle. We don't have access to that particular section. So that's why when I click on next button, it jumps from the role hierarchy to the users. It skips this. Okay. And this is nothing but the users that has access to this role. The users list that have access to the role. And we can also assign users from the role. From the role screen, we can assign to the users. This is actually quick. In case if you want to assign this role to multiple users, you can quickly do it from here. Okay. And then click on the next. It's just a review screen. In case if you added or removed or modified anything, it will just display. And then click on save and close. Since this is a predefined role, standard role, it is not allowing us to edit. Okay. If we want to customize the role, so we just discussed about the standard role, right? So like this, the standard roles are available in every module. Like inventory module, procurement module, order management, account payable, account receivable. Every module has got different roles. Okay. I'll give you the link where we can find the list of roles. I'll give you the Oracle link. Okay. Suppose in case if you want to create a custom role, as I said, if you give this standard role to the user can cancel the PO, right? Can cancel the PO. Suppose you want a role without this cancel PO privilege. So in that situation, to create a custom role, you can create a custom role from the scratch. Or else you can copy this role. See here from the drop down, click on copy role. I'm copying it. So copy top role and inherited roles. Inherited roles are nothing but This main role is going to access few privileges from other roles. This main role is going to access few privileges from other roles. So do you want to copy the main role privileges and inherited privileges also? Yes, I would like to copy both. And click on copy role. And this is a basic information screen. And I would like to prefix this as a custom because this is my custom role. I would like to prefix this as a custom, or generally it would be client prefix here, client prefix. Suppose if you say we are implementing Fusion applications for tech leads, then prefix is TL. Prefix is TL. If you are implementing for Uber, UB or Ola, or so client prefix you can use. And this is code. This is code. Okay, I'm also changing the code to TL underscore prefix, and coming to the description, it's basically a custom role. I'm adding custom role prefix to the description. Okay, and it's not a predefined role. That's why this box is deselected. And then next screen. And here, what is our requirement? Our requirement is to remove the cancel purchase order access from this role. Okay. Suppose if you want to remove any privilege, you have to select that privilege. You have to select that privilege. Suppose an example. So this is ASL configuration. This is ASL configuration. And if you want to remove this, just click on delete. Delete this privilege. Okay. So we are able to delete here. See, whichever is not required, what you can do is select that and then delete. Delete. Okay. What is this load inherited policies? I told you, right, inherited privileges. So this role is going to get some privileges from another role. Some privileges from another role. Suppose if I click on load inherited policies, it will display inherited. So you also see here. So these things are inherited. See the second column. These are inherited from this particular roles. So this is inherited from this role. So from here, whatever you see, these are the inherited privileges inherited from another roles. Okay. So these inherited privileges, you are not able to delete here. Only the main privileges you can delete from here. Only main privileges. You cannot delete from here. In case if you don't want these inherited privileges, then when you are creating a custom role, we have seen two radio buttons, right? Do you want to copy only main role privileges, or do you want to copy main role and inherited role privileges? You selected second radio button. So there you can select the first radio button itself. Okay. And suppose if you want to add any privileges, click on add, and then you'll see the privileges list over here. So you see here, duties are displaying here, but if you add a duty here, suppose if you select a duty here, under that duty, whatever the privileges are there, that will be added here. If you select a duty, under this duty, whatever the privileges are there, suppose if I'm adding, it will add privileges here, it won't directly add a duty. It will add privileges under that duty to the role. Okay, so here These are the duties section and these are the privileges section. So this is how we can add privileges to the role and we can remove the privileges from the role. Okay. And in the next screen, data security. So this data security, we have discussed about this example, right? So let us edit that and see. Okay, I'm selecting the edit button and we'll see how that is configured. So on the purchase order, so what is the database resource here? This is just a policy name. We can enter whatever we want here, the policy name, and the data source is a list of values. What is the database resource here? It is a purchasing, it's a purchase order. And then what kind of actions we allowed here? So view access and then delete access, read access and update access. Okay. Suppose you want only view access, just uncheck them. Just uncheck them. Okay. And then click on the next. And so this is our main role, but this is inherited roles. These are inherited roles. And see here, if I try to remove anything coming from the inherited role, if I try to remove anything coming from the inherited role, I'm receiving an error. What's the error? You can remove only roles inherited by the current role. Suppose if you want to remove this current role items, you can remove. You can remove. But inherited roles items you cannot remove from the role. Okay. And then next, I'd like to add to some user. So select that user here. And then now this role is having access to Krishna. And then so you'll see a summary screen, what has been changed or what has been modified. Just if you want to have a quick review, just view that, what is added and what is removed. And then, so in the privileges, we added and we removed this. And coming to role hierarchy, we removed one. Okay. And then submit and close. So this is how we have to create a custom role. To create a custom role, I told you there are two ways are there. One is copy the similar role and keep whichever privileges you want. Otherwise, delete them. This is one option. Other option is create a role from the scratch. So you see here, create a role from the scratch. So when you're creating also, it's better to let me duplicate the screen. I'm navigating to the same screen from a different tab. So I'm creating a role from the basic, from starting. So enter here. So you can enter everything manually here. And then role category. A role category, the buyer role belongs to procurement, right? So you see here financials and then HCM and procurement. So under procurement also you see multiple types here. Under procurement also you see multiple types here. Job role and duty role. an abstract role. So right now we are creating a job role. So what is the difference between job, duty, and abstract? I'll explain you later. So I'm selecting job role, and this is the custom role, and click on next. And coming to privileges section, everything is empty over here, right? Everything is empty. And we don't know the names of the privileges. We don't know the names of the privileges. So then in this case, what I suggest to you is open the similar role in another screen, open the similar role and just study what privileges are there here. Just study them. And then if you want this privilege, just copy it, just copy it and then put it here, add it here. Okay. So what I suggest you is open a similar role and see what privileges are there and whichever is required, copy it and then add it here. Okay. And also the search is also beautiful here. The search is also beautiful. If you try to type something, see here, it is the search is based on whatever, I mean, it's not exact search. It's not exact search. Whatever the similar elements are there, all those similar elements are displaying here. So you can choose whichever is required. See here, it is matching with the starting letters and also it is matching with the ending letters also. The wording that you are entering is not exact match. So this is one good thing so that you will find the related items from this list and you can add to the role. So see here, I added a duty and there are multiple privileges are there. So those multiple privileges are automatically added here. Okay. And then the data security, I'm creating a data security. I'm creating a data security. Grant access to purchase order header. That is a policy name. And database resource. Also, coming to this data security also, I suggest you to open the seeded role and verify it and whatever you want in the custom role. Okay, we want this one, right? So this data resource. So add the data resource here. It's not added. And the data set I'm selecting by instance set. And wait a minute. It's not selecting properly. We can try in another browser. Sometimes it could be a browser issue because this is a browser based application. I'm trying to select, okay, it's selected now. Okay. Now, what actions I would like to give? I would like to give update, read, delete, and then view also. Okay. And the data set, what has to be selected here? Even I'm not aware of that. Suppose if you have that doubt, so you have to see what is being selected here. Okay. This is a standard rule, right? That's why we don't have a edit option here to see that information. Okay, I'm just selecting for time being all values. Okay, and then click on okay. Click on okay. Okay. And then the role hierarchy. Role hierarchy. So we don't have anything inherited, right? That's why only our main role is displaying here. We don't have anything inherited as such. That's why this inherited column is empty. And then add it to the user, set from the screen. Okay, and then click on save and close. So during the implementation projects, we definitely need to work on the custom role creation. We definitely need to work on the custom role creation. So as of now, we created two roles. So the first role we created by copying it, and second role we created from the scratch, the second role. Okay. So now I'll take your questions. Now I'll take your questions.
Krishna, if you want to,
Go ahead, Sajan.
yeah, so we want to remove inherited role when we are editing the
Hmm.
custom role. So how we can do that in that case? If there is a requirement is of that kind.
So you cannot remove the inherited role. When you're copying itself, you can just copy the top role. Don't copy the inherited roles. Okay. So after copying, you cannot able to remove the
Okay.
inherited.
Okay. Good.
Okay. Otherwise, create a role from the scratch. If you're creating a role from the scratch, everything you are adding. Nothing is defaulting to your role, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Hmm.
Sir, inherited role means inherited from which role?
I would say you are a buyer. You are a buyer, and not only creating a purchase orders, you should also need to have access to item view. So those I'll just show you maybe by opening a role. So it's nothing but your main job is something. Your main job is something. To your main job, you can do everything. You can do everything. But others belong. If anything belongs to other departments and other areas, you will just have you access only. You will just have you access only. Suppose if you take this role, suppose if I directly go to the role, so do you see here? You are a buyer. You can do whatever you want in the purchasing department. But coming to the item department, product management department, you have just inquiry access. That is coming from this role. That is coming from this role. Okay. And suppliers also. Generally, suppliers are created. So supplier also, supplier information also you can view. You can just view. So your main privileges are few, and other other departments and other roles access also you'll be having, but you'll just have a kind of view access.
Sir, suppose as you said that you have created a buyer role and some
Mhm.
inherited roles were came to that user, buyer
Correct.
user. So, who will decide that these will be the inherited role given to that
Oracle,
particular
Oracle, Oracle.
Oracle
See,
itself?
suppose, yeah, these are the standard roles, right? It's created by Oracle, given by Oracle. Suppose for a buyer role, who is deciding create purchase order privilege should be there, close purchase order privilege should be there. Who is deciding that? The product is a product capability, product functionality.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Hello, hello,
One second. One second.
Luciano.
1 second, Luciano. My
Okay.
voice is clear to everyone.
Yes, sir.
Is that breaking?
Sometime it is breaking. Yeah, sometime actually your voice is breaking. Uh, Krishna.
Uh, I don't see any network up and down
I think
pop-ups.
signals it shows on your screen. I think little
Uh,
Sometimes it's coming, sir.
yes, sometime.
okay.
Sir, I have one question.
Hmm.
Hello, sir.
Go ahead, Akshay Patra.
Yeah, sir, the buyer will create the purchase order, but further somebody, the manager level should approve the purchase order. Then
Yeah,
if they ask like that, what we
yeah,
can,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. That type of concept is
because,
there. That is called as purchase order
uh,
approvals. So that I'll be
okay,
covering in the procurement module. Okay. So we have to
okay, sir.
write a conditions.
Yes,
If our purchase order value
okay,
is below 10,000, it should be approved by my manager. If it is above 50,000, it should be approved by my manager. Okay. So that
yes,
is
sir.
called as approval
Yes,
configuration. So we'll define
okay, sir.
setups and rules, and we'll
Okay,
see
sir.
how that approval chain is working
Okay,
in
sir.
coming days. Okay.
Yes, sir. And one
Luciano,
more thing, sir.
go ahead,
Yeah.
Akshay.
The buyer having the control for like 10 to 15 vendors will create the purchase orders and whatever you said, edit, close, and
Akshay,
cancel.
Akshay,
Yeah.
this is just an example I'm giving on for a
Okay.
role, but purchase order functionalities we'll see in future classes.
Okay, sir. Fine, sir.
Okay. So you're asking the futuristic questions now.
We have practical difficulties. That's what I'm asking.
What practical difficulties?
We have access like a manager should approve the purchase order when we are
Okay.
creating.
Mhm.
Without manager approval, the purchase order will not approved in the software, and we cannot
Okay.
send to the supplier.
Okay.
We not even take a printout also from here.
Okay.
That's what my question.
Okay. So the PO approval. So if I open this sheet, if I go to procurement sheet and approvals, we're going to configure. So you'll see here, we're going to configure here approvals. So supervisor hierarchy. So you're talking about supervisor hierarchy.
Yes,
The
yes, yes,
manager,
yes.
senior manager, and director. And we'll take few jobs, and
Okay,
we
sir.
configure rules, approval
Okay, sir.
rules, and we are going to verify the approval list, how it is
Okay, sir.
generated, and how the
Thanks.
notifications are triggered to the managers, and how we are going to. So that cycle I'll explain in classes.
Fine, sir.
Sir,
Thank you.
I have doubt.
Akshay Patra, you're done.
Yes,
You
sir.
have
Thank
any
you.
more questions?
Yeah, yeah, done, sir.
Okay. 1 second, Shivam Patil. Luciano, go ahead with your question. You're on the sequence, right? Go ahead with your question.
Yes, I would like to know if possible example, I am in the screen for the PO purchase and the owner would like remove one rule. Example,
One privilege.
yes, by
Okay.
yes, one privilege.
Hmm.
Do you know if possible found this privilege by the screen of the users or only in the situation that you show us?
Yeah.
By the common user
Yeah.
in the other way.
So if you remove from here, they cannot see this. They cannot see this action in the screen. They cannot see this cancel action in their screen. Okay, so whatever you are doing here, it's going to affect their access, nothing but their screen. Is that your question?
No, at this point I understood. So I would like to know if by the user area by the screen user, if possible, identify the rule. Example, I don't know the rule to remove. The user show me, oh, I have this screen and this function I would like to remove.
Okay.
I would like know in the screen of the user, I can identify the rule to remove by the other way.
Okay. Okay. It's not possible. Yeah. Got your question. So if the user is saying that I don't want this should be displayed in my screen, can you please remove that? If the user asking me you like that, is it possible to identify which privilege is belongs to that? Correct, right? That is your question. That is not
Yes.
possible. So from the screen, you are not able to identify that a particular access is coming from which privilege. It's not possible to identify, but it's our experience basically. Based on
Okay,
our
understood.
experience, we can identify it. Okay. Otherwise, we may need to take some time and then investigate and then identify the right privilege. Okay. And once you worked on the roles, once you practiced roles, and in the first project, it would be the first project, it would be little bit tough. From the second project onwards, you can easily work on the roles. You can easily identify the roles and then privileges, everything. For the first project, it would be difficult. Okay.
Sir, I will
Okay.
like to ask one question connected to this only. Can I ask, sir?
Yeah, go ahead and get.
Sir, like as you said that the privileges can be edited, right?
Hmm.
So while creating a user,
Hmm.
the privileges are assigned by Oracle only at the initial phase.
While creating the users, see, we are creating users and we have added roles. Have you gone through the day 1 and day 2 videos, Ankit?
Uh, no, sir, I'm going through.
After going through that, ask me this question. Okay. And
Okay.
all IAS Global 4 guys, please go through the videos by today itself.
Sir,
Share the videos on the first day itself. Okay. Go through the videos.
uh, sir,
Go show.
I went through the videos. The buy role was the only example, right? We can do same things with the other role available in the
Yes.
Oracle, right?
Yes. Yes. This is just one standard rule and this is just one rule example.
And one more question was there. So
Hmm.
you told that the IT team hierarchy and the client user hierarchy. So
Yeah.
as the IT team, we have the special. Do we have any special access to the Oracle software, or is it similar to the client user? Like,
No, no, we will be having complete access. IT team is having complete access. Okay. Because let us take this case, this example. After creating this configuration, nothing but after creating this custom role, you have to verify, right? By going to the purchase order screen, you have to verify whether the required access is there for that user or not. That means we are the all-rounders. We'll do everything. We'll create configurations and we'll also try with the transaction screens and we'll open the transaction screens and we verify the access. We do everything. Okay. So that's why
sir,
IT team is having complete access to the application. Okay.
I,
Except
I,
why don't you wait to complete my answer?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Actually, some sentence was not. I was not able to hear. The voice was breaking. That's why.
Okay. So I mean to say we're going to have access to complete system. Okay, we do configurations and to verify whether our configurations, our setups are working fine or not,
Mm-hmm.
we have to go to that transaction screens also. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Next question, please.
Hey
Hi,
Krishna,
Krishna.
Go ahead.
Krishna, in Fusion, have you ever got the access of database when
Yeah.
while working in any of the
Yeah.
project?
We have access to the database. I'll show you. We can view the details from the table level.
Yes. Okay.
I'll explain you. It's in my list.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Thank you.
And we don't require any third-party tools to be installed, like Toad or SQL Developer. We can
Are you
we can
talking about
access.
Are you talking about OTBI?
Yeah, from the same place itself, we can view the data from the table level from the
Okay.
same place itself. From the BA place, I mean to say, to navigate to the OTBA, first you go to the BA screen, right? From
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
BA screen itself, we can connect to the database
Oh.
to write our
Okay.
queries.
Through data model, right?
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
And it does not require a Toad and SQL Developer.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah, next question, please, Prasanna.
Krishna, in real-time scenarios, client used to give like to create roles and custom roles. If the client want any custom role, they will
Uh,
give.
Client, you have to gather the requirements. See, everything that you are configuring in the system, it is for the client. It is for the client. You have to gather the requirement. Okay, suppose if the client says that Mr. A working under buyer under purchasing department, Mr. B is also working under purchasing department. Then you have to ask client what A is going to do and what B is going to do. What B is going to do. Okay, so they are going to tell you theoretically. So A just creates purchase orders. Okay, but B will have full access to the purchase orders. B is going to do everything. Okay, they tell you theoretically in a sentences that you have to understand, and then you have to provide access according to that.
Okay, okay. Based upon that, you have to create roles.
Yeah,
Hmm.
you have to ask these questions also to the client. So it all comes with the practice. With the practice, or else the first project is the learning. Okay.
Okay, Krishna.
And anyone joined in today's session? Anyone joined in today's session? Today is the first class for anyone.
Yes, sir.
Srinivas, this is your first class.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Mine also, Akshay Patra.
So you are from which place?
I am from Vizag, sir.
Okay, Srinivas, you are from?
Hyderabad.
Okay. Srinivas, you send me
Yeah.
your email
Even
address.
today is my first class.
Okay. Who is that?
Hello.
Revant.
Revant. Okay, Revant. Shepatra, Revant, and then Srinivas.
It's my first class also. I'm Sarthak.
Sarthak, you are from which country?
I'm from India. I'm studying in Dallas, USA.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you are there in that group, right?
Yeah.
And two more people are there in that group. They joined?
I don't think so.
Yes.
Shashank and one.
Uh-huh.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Yeah. So only you joined. Revant, you're also
I
from that
and
group? Oh, you two are from that group, right? Okay. So,
Yeah, even I'm from.
okay, got it. So we have already emailed you. See, the batch is started on Monday. Monday 30 minutes I have taken, and Tuesday also 30 minutes I have taken. So today is a Thursday, right? And yesterday also 30 minutes. So totally 1.5 hour session you missed. We have shared the videos also for that 1.5 hour. Go through the videos by today. Okay. And if you're having any
Okay,
questions,
sir.
you can post in that group.
Sure.
One
Thank
of
you.
our session is completed, so go through that session, both of you. Okay. So thank you all.
Okay.
I'll see you tomorrow then.
Krishna, just last, I mean, if you check your Wi-Fi signals, I think today it was only 1 tower there. Just see, I believe it was the
I
reason.
see. That is the reason I think disconnection, my voice.
Yeah. Yes. Little bit, not too much, but it's was
Yeah,
little.
it is dropping and then it
Correct.
is.
Yeah, coming. Thank you, Krishna.
Okay, so your batch number is 37, so you can leave now. I have
Thank
second
you.
session to the previous batch. Thank you.
Thank you, Krishna.
Thank you,
Thanks a
Krishna.
lot. Bye.
Thank you, Krishna.
Thank you, Krishna.